Just as the world has a beginning and an end, so too does time. And so, the end of the road is the moment that Tevat was born. In the beginning, it was the Dragon King Nibelung who raised the 3 moons into the heavens.
Nibelung, our original master, created us in the distant past to maintain Tevat.
But he left this world and traveled into the dark universe beyond.
Until the day that the first descender arrived.
The great ruler of the firmament.
The heavenly principles.
When the heavenly principles came, they changed the world completely.
Later, we discovered that this great ruler of the firmament bore an almost paranoid hostility toward the desire of certain life forms to seek power. They would even cast down celestial nails as manifestations of their power, to punish the civilizations of the world below.
But just when we had decided to take countermeasures, the Dragon King, Nibelung, returned.
Bearing the perilous power of the abyss.
The Dragon King acquired the power of darkness from outside of this world, and led us in a fight against the order established by the outsiders. Only forbidden knowledge could give us enough power to defeat the heavenly principles. An unimaginable war took place into that, causing destruction on an unprecedented scale.
And so began the War of Funerary Flame.
A battle for dominance between Nibelung and the heavenly principles. The moon goddesses were nowhere near strong enough to challenge this entity. Nibelung would eventually discover their disloyalty. He had all 3 imprisoned before transforming the moons into weapons with which to fight against the heavenly principles. The heavenly principles shattered 2 moons and flung the other beyond the skies.
I was stopped by the giant spike that fell from the sky.
The heavenly principles won, although it came at a great cost. And the world's original master, the Dragon King Nibelung, was destroyed. The eternal and iridescent moons were both shattered during the war. Only the frost moon remains, but it has been cast beyond the false firmament by the heavenly principles.
The era of the dragons was over.
The 4 great rulers who serve the heavenly principles. They govern life, death, time, and space. These 4 divisions anchor the world and shackle those who live in it.
They remained in Tevat, where they continue to rule to this day.
The 3rd Descender? We knew his remains were used to create the Gnosis.
7 ideals for 7 gods.
Each Archon has an internal magical focus that resonates directly with Celestia itself, known as a Gnosis.
Strife is engraved upon every god and every Gnosis brought forth into this world.
The strife engraved upon a Gnosis. You're talking about the Archon War.
It was about 2,600 years ago, before the world had come under the rule of the 7.
Tevat's current peace was not easily won. All those losses were meaningless, driven by the demands of the laws.
When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, only Brexlapis and Barbados of Mondstadt remains of the first 7. The other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer the same friends from 2,000 years ago. Of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro.
The gods goad us on with the promise of their 7 treasures. Rewards for the worthy, the doorway to divinity.
Khaenri'ah, an ancient nation that was destroyed 500 years ago. Khaenri'ah was a nation without a god. It was a powerful nation, built purely by humans.
A long time passed after we landed. We didn't wake up together.
Your sibling suddenly appeared in Khaenri'ah.
Khaenri'ah was her first destination when she arrived in this world. She only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning. The Jester told me this himself. He was a royal mage in Khaenri'ah, and lived with your sister for a time.
Paimon? A creation of Celestia?
I used this technology upon the heavens, and the response I received was none other than Paimon, descending from Celestia. I presented her to the Vinster King, but he took no interest in this gift, nor did it satisfy him.
Ever since that outsider set foot in Khaenri'ah, The Vinster King has sunken deeper into madness.
We knew that the great abyssal power within her had been divided up.
The 5 sinners of Khaenri'ah. The 5 sinners were each driven by their own desires, and it was by playing upon these that the Abyss tempted them to their fall, tearing Khaenri'ah apart in the process. And when the cataclysm occurred, not one of them stood up in defense of their nation.
Paimon then took up temporary residence in my palace until the arrival of the cataclysm.
Everything that day, even the sky itself, changed into a color like this. The 7 were all summoned to the nation of Khaenri'ah.
Later events unfolded just as you remember. It was all destroyed by gods. 500 years ago, the gods descended upon the world and brought desolation to Khaenri'ah.
The ruler of death.
I placed the curse of immortality.
It's because of her that I bear the curse of immortality, the curse of absolute life. The people of Khaenri'ah committed grave sins, and for that, we were cursed to suffer endless physical torment. But most of us were innocent. Most of us knew nothing of the 5 sinners' exploitation of abyssal power.
It seems the first time you awoke in this world was indeed during that period.
When the cataclysm first struck, everyone prayed for the Savior to deliver them. But she was nowhere to be found.
All I remember is Lumine waking me up and us leaving the ship.
When I found you, you were still in hibernation.
And then your sister told you that the destruction of Khaenri'ah plunged the whole world into chaos, and that you two should leave this world called Teyvat?
When you wanted to leave and go on to the next world, your path was blocked by some unknown god?
And just like that, the god took away my sister. Some kind of seal was cast upon me, and I lost my power. So while we used to travel from world to world, we are now trapped here. When I woke, I was all alone, until I met you 2 months ago.
Yeah, Paimon really owes you for that. Otherwise, Paimon likely would have drowned. So Paimon will do her best to be a great god.
After the Khaenri'ah disaster, she began her journey through the 7 nations of Teyvat.
The Abyss seemed to be carrying out a large operation.
Our original mission, the revival of the homeland, to preserve an entire nation in the form of an atlas.
Used the loom of fate to reweave the ley lines of Khaenri'ah. We will weave our homeland anew and bring the nation of our dreams back into the real world.
The heavenly principles have been silent for many years.
For 500 years now, ever since the cataclysm in Khaenri'ah, there's been no sign of activity. However, the heavenly principles will awaken. We just don't know when that will be, or what might trigger it. But there's still time before the heavenly principles awaken.
The Tsaritsa of Snezhnaya?
She is one of the 7. The Tsaritsa who reigns from her winter palace. The 7 don't always get along well, but still. I never thought that she would plot to steal another Archon's Gnosis. 500 years ago, I knew her well. But I can't say the same is true now. She cut off all ties with me. I haven't seen her in 500 years. What is she thinking? What's her plan?
Why are the Harbingers collecting all the Gnosi? The Fatui? Want to challenge the heavenly principles?
The Cryo Archon. With her paltry powers, she dares set her gaze on the heavenly principles.
The heavenly principles have yet to awaken. If I were her, I wouldn't pass on that opportunity either.
For lack of a direct order, I say it's time we intervened.
What is the price of killing a god? The god stays silent, as if the thought had never once crossed his mind. Even the gods have their limits. We must face life, death, time, and space. After all, our goal is the heavenly principles.